Hey guys, today I'd like to present my Intercultural Communication Media Analysis paper. I chose option 4, was to do a media analysis of a movie. I did Gran Torino, and it's basically a 2008 Clint Eastwood film. It's a drama, and it's set in the Michigan area, and it follows the life of Walt, a traditional patriotic American man who's living on his own. In his relationship with his neighbors, uh, traditional Hmong family, specifically with the teenagers in the family, Sue and Tao. So the movie Gran Torino, it follows the older man Walt Klosky. He's kind of considered a racist and an angry man, and he's living alone next door to the Lore family of Hmong descent. In that family is Tao, a teenage boy, and Sue, a teenage girl, and he finds himself involved with Tao and Sue a lot during the movie. It all began when Tao tried to steal his 1972 Gran Torino as part of a gang initiation. He wanted to become part of his cousin's Hmong gang, and after the conflict, they were forced to work together and create a relationship, even though they don't have very much in common at all. There's an older American man hanging out with a younger uh, Hmong Asian American individual, and they didn't see eye to eye at all. But by the end of the movie, Tao and Walt create this bond where Walt is almost idolized by Tao, and he becomes almost like a father figure. And they work their way through all these intercultural conflicts that uh, create barriers between the two, and they become almost an unbeatable team. But here's some background information about Hmong culture. The Hmongs are people from Laos, Thailand, and China area. They moved to the United States following the Vietnam War. They were pushed out of their homes. The people in this culture identify as part of a group or a family more. In American culture, we live more of a individualistic family style, where it's every man for themselves. The Hmongs, they emphasize relationships within the group, within your family, or people you care about, and they give strong respect to their elders and do what they're told. And it's very evident throughout the movie that Tao and Sue are very respectful of their parents and follow what they're saying usually. Here's a scene I really like. In this scene, Walt picks up Sue after a conflict on the street he saw, and Sue and him begin to talk about the culture and the cultural differences, and you could tell that Walt is surprised to hear about the Hmong culture and kind of breaking the stereotypes of what Walt thought Asian Americans
What's the matter
are.
with you, for Christ's sake? Trying to get yourself killed. I thought you Asian guys were supposed to be smart. Hang around a neighborhood like that's the fast way to get you in the obituaries.
I know. Take it easy.
And what about that goofball guy? Is that a date or something?
Yeah, kind of. His name is Trey.
Well, you shouldn't be hanging out with him. You should be hanging out with your own people. With other Hmongs.
You mean Hmong? Hmong. Not Hmong.
Whatever. Where the hell is Hmong? I mean Hmong anyway.
Wow. You're so enlightened, you know that? No, Hmong isn't a place. It's a people. Hmong people come from different parts of Laos, Thailand, and China.
Well, how did you end up in my neighborhood? Why didn't you stay there?
It's a Vietnam thing. We fought on your side, and when the Americans quit, the communists started killing all the Hmong. So we came over here.
Well, I don't know how you ended up in the Midwest. Snow on the ground 6 months out of the year. What is it? Jungle people wanting to be in the great field.
Hill. We're hill people. Not jungle people. Booga booga booga.
Yeah, whatever.
Blame the Lutherans. They brought us over.
Everybody blames the Lutherans. You'd think the cold would keep all the idiots out.
Thanks for the ride.
You know something, kid, you're all right. But what about that dimwit? You a little slow.
How is actually really smart. He just doesn't know which direction to go in.
Poor Toad.
It's really common. One girls over here, bitten better. The girls go to college, and the boys go to jail.
What's the matter with you?
So in that conversation, we could hear Sue clearly explain what the Hmong people are and where they came from and why they might act the way they do. Hmong people are not understood very well, and they're burdened by the stereotypes about Asian Americans. And you could tell that Walt is a very stereotypical guy, and he tosses around a lot of insults. But through the conversation, you could tell he's enlightened by the Hmong people and their journey to the Midwest. And he learns a little bit about the culture throughout the conversation. One of the interesting quotes I heard were, "Girls go to college, boys go to jail." The cultural norms with the Hmong people are different than a American family, where we would expect the boy to go to college and support for the female. And yeah, I think you could tell that Walt seemed very shocked by that realization of how they live and how they expect their children to pan out or continue to live. And then here's another scene I really like. This one you'll see a lot of cultural conflict. Walt goes over to the barbecue with Sue at her family's house, and he's immersed into a culture he's never seen or been in before. You could see Walt's discomfort in the house, and there's a few specific intercultural differences that are told in this scene.
Hey Walt. What are you up to? We're having a barbecue. You want to come over?
What do you think?
There's tons of food.
Just keep your hands off my dog.
No worries. We only eat cats.
Really?
No, I'm kidding, moron. Come on, you can be my special guest.
No, I'm fine. Right here. Yeah. Son of a bitch.
Okay, so have you ID today?
Oh, I had a piece of cake. A little beef jerky.
Come on over and get something to eat. We've got beer too.
Well, I might as well. Drink for stranger. Drink alone. It is my birthday.
Really? Happy birthday, Wally.
Don't call me Wally. Well, no pants, only a beer.
How's he say? When it's
What am I doing? Look at the ground. What's she saying? No, she's not.
Yeah, no, she didn't.
Hey. What are you fish heads looking at?
I think we should go to the club. Sorry. A lot of people in this house are very traditional. Number one, never touch Hmong person. Not even a child. Hmong people believe that the soul resides in the head. So, don't do that.
Sounds dumb.
Yeah, and a lot of Hmong people consider looking someone in the eye to be very rude. That's why they look away when they look at you.
Anything else?
Yeah, some Hmong people tend to smile or grin when they're yelled at. It's a cultural thing. It expresses nervousness or insecurity. It's not that they're laughing at you or anything.
You people are nuts. But the food does look good. It smells good too.
Well, of course. It smells good.
Okay. Can I come back for seconds?
No doubt.
So, I really like that scene. It showed some specific cultural differences that Sue describes as it's just a culture thing. I really like how she explains that, tries to write it off to Walt at first, but then goes into depth about the differences in the two cultures and why his actions have or could have made the reaction from the family like it did. We hear that the Hmong people don't make eye contact, which would be very awkward for someone from America to be talking to somebody that's always looking down. And also, they smile or grin when they're yelled at as a sign of insecurity, which could lead to issues over here. If you're yelling at somebody and they smile at you, that could lead to even more yelling and more violence. So I really thought those were two interesting points, but I really liked the last one. Hmong people believe that the soul resides in someone's head, and touching their head would be very disrespectful. Those are very specific intercultural differences that change the situation at all, or completely. And Walt knew he was doing something wrong, but he didn't understand why it was wrong exactly in that scene. And some of the key or some of the ways that he knew he was doing something wrong was you see a lot of nonverbal communication throughout this movie. When the Hmong people don't speak English around Walt, he could still understand what they mean or what they're saying by multiple nonverbal cues like the rate of their voice, the volume, their facial expressions, their postures, and even how they spit sometimes throughout the movie. It's very interesting. These nonverbal interactions help you understand where the disconnect could be coming from, and helps Walt understand what they're trying to tell him throughout the movie without telling him. And another thing you notice throughout the movie is Sue, Walt, and Tao. Oh, Sue, Walt, and Tao become a very tightly knit group together. They become each other's primary group, I would say. Uh, Sue and Tao don't really have a father figure throughout the movie, and Walt acts as if the father figure, and he protects them from the gang violence in the streets and all the different uh, all the different things that are there to harm Sue and Tao and keep them down. Uh, he he wasn't forcing himself in the group, but he was forced into the group by Sue's mother when he forced Tao to work with him, and as he become forced to work in as he was forced to work with the Mongs, he identified even more with them than his own culture at some point, and developed this new type of family. And then, in conclusion, people carry out great beliefs and values and behaviors across different cultures that are different per each group of person. It is important to understand these cultural differences and why someone may feel that touching someone's head is very disrespectful, for example. And we need to interpret these unfamiliar actions rather than just translating them. And that's it for the presentation. Thank you for your time.